Life is a mountain, and here we are. We're climbing our mountain, and the top of the mountain is our goals. And here we are, right down here with our backpack on, and we're hiking this thing. And so much of our pressure and focus is on the immediate thing that we're doing. And each of everything that we do is important. It's really important, but I've said this before. It's not the most important thing. I used to stress myself out so much. I used to hype myself up so much, thinking that what I'm doing right now, this is it. This is the thing that's going to make or break my career. This is the thing that's, this is the one. And it wasn't until I took a step back and instead of doing all these like 6 month goals, my wife and I took a step back and we made a 10-year vision. And we're on like year 7.5 right now of this 10-year vision. And so let's just imagine it's not like we're at base camp. None of us are at base camp right now. We're not, this is not our first step on the mountain. We're way up the mountain right now. And oftentimes we forget to take a look back. And we forget that, like how far have we actually come to get to where we are, to appreciate that journey. And also, we forget like where are we actually going because we're so focused on this launch, this step, that we forget where we're actually going. So, who are we becoming? What are we inspired to create? How are we inspired to live? What is our dream lifestyle? These are the important questions. This is the direction that we're going. This is the big why of why we're doing this. If we're disconnected from the big why, then it can get easy to be disillusioned with the current reality. And so right now, here we are, we're on this stepping stone. We're doing this right now. We're doing our flagship training or signature workshop. And that's where we are. And we put so much of the focus of like this step is so important. And we forget that there's this like whole mountain that we have to pace ourselves for, that we're climbing this whole thing. And when I found for myself, when I took the pressure off of this needing to be the big breakthrough in my career, and instead this was more of a stepping stone because I could suddenly see what I was marching towards, the career I actually wanted, and the lifestyle that I actually wanted to be living. It it really changed my relationship with the journey I was on. It made it feel like, oh, it's okay that I'm where I am. It's okay that this launch did what this launch did. It's okay that my health or my fitness is at the level that it's at because here I am. But I know where I'm going now. I've taken the time to create this vision that I'm now moving towards. And this was a 30-day process. And we came up with all of our all of our dreams and we wrote them out in gratitude in the affirmative statement as though they were already done. And then we spent a bunch of time creating a vision board. We bought a nice picture frame. We put it in the picture frame and it lives above our bed now. And it's wild because so many of the things that we put in that vision on that vision board have become our life, have become our location, have become the lifestyle. It's, like one of the ones on there for me is playing professional golf. I just got a sponsor yesterday. Like it's just these things are, it happens like magic. And when we can alleviate the pressure of what we're doing right now and honoring it as an important milestone, and also recognizing that we have oodles and oodles of steps in front of us. And each of the steps come with their own lessons, their own challenges, their own beauty. And one of these steps, no doubt, some of these steps are big wins on the journey, and we should savor those. And some of the steps are painful. Maybe we slip on a rock and we fall back 3 steps, but then we keep going, and we keep learning, and we keep developing our skills and our strength and our ability to navigate and listen to intuition and follow the path that we're laying out and pivot when it's needed. And all of a sudden we get up to the vision, and we become that. And then once we get up there, we realize, oh shit, we're in a mountain range. Look at that mountain over there. We just got to the top of this one. Let's go hike to the mountain range over there. And that mountain range is going to have its own set of goals and its own vision. And then you're going to redo the whole damn thing again because now you've become this like epic human who got to the top of this mountain, but we never want to stop growing. So now we're going to go over here. And this might be a change in career, change in life path. Like, who knows what's going to happen when we get to the top of this mountain that we're climbing right now. And so let's just take 5 minutes to dream 5 years from right now and just do some free flow journaling around this question of like, let's just imagine there's nothing holding you back. You have infinite freedom. You have the ability over the next 5 years, you're going to develop yourself, your ecosystem of a business, your offerings, all of the things. You're going to be cultivating and developing it. And there's nothing that could hold you back. So, who are you becoming? How do you describe yourself in 5 years from now? How do you want to describe yourself? What do you want to be creating in 5 years from now? What are your gifts to the world? Can you imagine a career shift that you're more focused on something else in 5 years from now than what you're doing right now? I never would have saw Magic Kids coming, but what I did have in my vision was that I knew I wanted to create transformational media. I wanted to create comedy. I wanted to eventually get into movies and TV and have writing become a huge part of what I do on the day-to-day basis. And then poof, I have a kid and poof, I start doing lots of stories with him. And then all of a sudden, he's 5 years old and we launched a publishing company. And now I can see how what I dreamed 7.5 years ago about being a writer, it unfolded for me because I kept taking steps. I cultivated my ability to write scripts and to create educational, transformational media through the Great E-Course Adventure and Going Mighty and all of these creative business entrepreneurial projects. I started to merge my inner artist into, and just like magic, things unfolded. And then before I knew it, I was like, oh shit, I'm actually perfectly on track with where I was trying to go. Same thing goes with my health and fitness goals. I've always been in pretty good shape, but never the type of shape that I'm in right now. And that was something that was always there. And then my buddy moves to the island, who I'd been friends with for a lot of years. He's got 25 years as a yogi and fitness experience. He builds a gym in his 2-car garage and turns it into a fitness facility. And he starts training me 2 days a week. And that just like accelerated that part of my journey. Same goes with the professional golf. I had no idea how I was going to start playing professional golf. And then all of a sudden, this golf course I play at lets me walk my dog out there. So now when I have to go do my dog walk, I just go to the golf course so my dog can play with me. And that's allowed me to play 2,500 rounds of golf in the last 10 years and improve my skills exponentially because I could just do that every day. So when we're throwing these visions and we're rooting them from this moment and we're seeing them off in the future, we're creating these anchor points. And the more we can put that focus on the big why and create the little tiny steps of like what the step is today, like the flagship training right now, the signature workshop training that you're going to do, all those are really important steps to get up to the top of that mountain because they're learning skills. Maybe one day you'll pivot to a completely different topic, but the skills that you're developing from building the thing that you're doing right now are going to support you to step more fully into that chapter then because you're doing this work now. And so our failures are actually successes. There's no denying that if we keep going and we keep moving forward on this journey. So let's take 5 minutes and just answer some of these questions up here around what that 5 years looks like from now and describe it as though it's already done. Describe it in the present moment. Describe it as gratitude. And let's see where you end up at the top of this mountain that you're climbing right now. I'll set my alarm. Have fun dreaming. All right, take another moment. And the next part of this exercise, which we don't need to do, we can save this for another day. But it would be map out the mountain that you've already climbed and look back and appreciate what you've done to get to where you are. So I'll just show you on this side of the mountain. It's like, what do you feel like your starting point was on the journey that you're on? For me, it was like I dropped out of college in 2005 to become an entrepreneur and to pursue my passion for professional golf and to try and get myself there on my own. I started my first business. It was a t-shirt company. My life became a complete wreck within a year, but that's what got me started. And that train wreck of a life that I lived got me into personal growth. It got me into meditation. That meditation path got me teaching meditation, touring workshops, speaking, etc. The success from that got me producing, doing retreats. That led me to start working with entrepreneurs and creators on my path. That felt really boring, which got me marrying my artist. And how do we make online education a work of art? How do we do this in a more effective way? And then all the experience from that, after having a kid, led me to start a publishing company, which I do believe is leading to movies and TV within the next few years. So we have to appreciate where we've come from on the journey of getting to where we're going. And as we appreciate where we've come from, we can see the hard choices that we've made, the hardships that we've overcome, the strength that we've gained from those hardships. And all of that becomes a part of the brand and the philosophy and the identity that we are sharing with the world. And I just wanted to do this little exercise here because I know everybody's in launch mode and it's easy to spiral out in the launch mode and forget about these important pieces to just like ground us to this moment, to the ledge that we're on right now, to enjoy the view a little bit more and to take the pressure off because regardless of how this launch goes, there's still a hell of a long journey that we still have to get to the top, especially if we're looking out 5 years from now. So just chill, enjoy it, enjoy the step we're on. And, I know for me, I went all in on entrepreneurship. And so I have been 100% dependent on my creativity, my resilience, and ability to generate my own income for 20 years. Um, and so I know that sometimes the launch is literally a paying the bills dire situation. And in those moments, it does require a lot of grit, a lot of strength. And that's where we find our superpowers. That's where, when we're willing to be courageous and go all in on a thing and knock on doors until we get our yeses that we need to pay the bills. And not everybody's in that situation, but if you're in that situation, I mean that's something worth talking about as well and jamming on because I've been there many times over the years. So, yeah, hopefully that was an inspiring little exercise for everybody and helps to remind you of where you've come from and where you're going.